Hello friends, welcome to another reel by Bharat Raghu. Today we would be talking about, today is Shaheed Diwas, 23rd March is Shaheed Diwas, where comrades Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru were hanged by the British, and this is celebrated as the Shaheed, which meaning, martyrs Diwas basically. So this event had a point in history which it basically opened up the revolutionary movement. And the first time, before pre this, there was not much information, much knowledge in the public domain of the revolutionaries, what the revolutionaries were doing. So there were, of course, the Kakori conspiracy case, and there was people knew. But by the time the trials of Bhagat Singh were going on, the court appearances where Bhagat Singh and his comrades were speaking, they were answering to the lawyers' questions and in front of the judge, and those articles being published in the newspapers, that's when the revolutionary activity became famous. Bhagat Singh became famous in India, a word which was he was famous as Gandhi or Subhash Chandra Bose in India. So that's his even today he is one of the most revered freedom fighters and revolutionaries. But let's look at his ideology, and let's look at what they were trying to build. So we have to be very clear, friends. So Bhagat Singh was started off as a revolutionary. He joined the HRA, the Hindustan Republican Army, or the Hindustan Republican Association. Sachindranath Sanyal, who had formed this organization, and of course we know Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan. So they were all part of this HRA, the Kakori conspiracy case. But later, once he comes in and he joins, and he and his comrades start involving, it's then later that they change the organization to Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. So the word socialist is added specifically. Why? Because he was a Marxist. Bhagat Singh and his comrades, Bhagat Singh was an out and out Marxist. He was trying to build a socialist country. He wanted a socialist India. So, a lot of his articles, what he's written, even as we very famously know in the movie Legend of Bhagat Singh, if you watch that movie, when Bhagat Singh was just about to be executed, he was just about to be hanged. So what was he reading? He was reading a book on Lenin, Reminiscence of Lenin. That's a book by a German activist. So he was reading, and his last wish was that he wanted to finish the book by Lenin before, of course, being executed. So he was massively influenced by Lenin. He was influenced by the Gadar movement, which happened before, of course, the Gadar party. So there was this very, very left-wing leaning tendency in him. And we need to understand today, when we try to label the left as something which is not in sync with the patriotic movement, it's not like that. The left was very much in the struggle against the British, in the freedom struggle, and Bhagat Singh was the leading, you can say, champion of that. Bhagat Singh and his comrades, so basically they add this word socialist in the Firoz Shah Kotla grounds. That's where the convention happens, and that scene is also depicted in the Legend of Bhagat Singh, where he says that why do we want to build socialism? Because we don't want the British government to be replaced by another government, basically like a bourgeois government, which goes and then dominates, and then which goes and oppresses its peasants and workers. We want a workers and a peasants state. That's what he stood for. Another thing, on 21st March 1930, when there was the Lahore conspiracy case, the trials were going on Lenin's day. On Lenin Day, he and his comrades from the court, so they actually gave out congratulatory greetings on on Lenin's Day to the great experiment that is going on in Russia, right? And he says, long live, of course, that's his famous slogan, right? Inqilab Zindabad, long live. What is Inqilab? Inqilab is revolution. But what it stood for, he explains it in the Lenin Day greetings, which you can find, and I'll put that quote in the comment section, where He says, long live communist revolution, long live socialist revolution. That's what he was trying to build, right? And death to imperialism. So he was against imperialism. Death to capitalism. So he was against capitalism, imperialism, the basic Marxist model. He wanted a new socialist India. That's what he was trying to build. He and his comrades were very clear that he wanted to build a socialist India, and we should always remember Bhagat Singh as Comrade Bhagat Singh. He was Comrade Bhagat Singh, member of the HSRA, whose later colleagues like Ajay Ghosh, Shiv Verma go on and join the Communist Party, the CPI in India, which was, so the communist movement in India in the 1920s when Bhagat Singh was working was extremely splintered. There was no the unified Communist Party was not a grand event which happened and all of them joined, because it was an underground party. It was banned, all communist activity was banned under the British. So there was no one unified party. There was the splinter groups. There was Bhagat Singh and his comrades, the HSRA. There was the new CPI which was being formed. There were groups in the south. There were groups in Bengal, Anushilin Samiti. So it was going on. This was the hub of revolutionary activity. And Bhagat Singh is the epitome of revolutionism. Bhagat Singh is the epitome of building a socialist India. No one stood as clearly and firmly to build socialism amongst the Indian freedom fighters as clearly as Bhagat Singh. So let's remember him and his comrades on Shaheed Diwas. Revolutionary greetings to them. Thank you.